Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with the 97 Mustang Cobra. We're gonna make another video on updating the cooling system. For some reason, the Mustang videos aren't really popular with you guys, so hopefully it'll start to grow on you because I like the car and I like wrenching on it, so I'm gonna do it anyway. With that said, we got a 2-row aluminum radiator from Spec-D. We have a high-performance water pump from PWR Power, and we got a 180-degree thermostat. We're gonna throw that in. We're gonna try to flush out the system, get this up, and see if I can fix some of the heating issues in this car. It tends to run a little hot, but apparently that's kind of common. Hopefully I don't have any of the jackets inside the block or anything like that clogged. If that's so, then that's a whole nother issue. But other than that, please hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment, and also check out the GoFundMe for my buddy Mike. All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and get this radiator cap popped, the overflow tank. Take a look in there. It looks okay. The fluid don't look too bad. All right, now we're gonna come down here and start draining it. You can see what I did. I attached this hose to the radiator, and I'm going to loosen up that right there and see if we can start draining this fluid out of it. It's kind of working. All right, there we go. We got some good flow coming out. Overall, the radiator fluid looks pretty good. I think it was changed somewhat recently. The hose is working out, so that's always a plus. All right, I filled up my wife's car windshield wiper fluid yesterday, so luckily I still got this bottle and I can transfer it in here and keep draining. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start removing this coolant overflow tank. I'm going to go ahead and remove this hose here from the radiator. If I had the right size tool. Pull that off. Pretty easy. All right, get that off. Got my trusty 10 mil. Let's get this out of the way. Oh, I got the support brace too, almost forgot that. All right, just those 3 bolts. Let's see what else I got. Oh, got one more radiator hose, but I don't think I'm gonna need to disconnect that. I might just run it off to the side. Let's see. Ah, there it goes, perfect. All right, the next thing is we got to remove the sensor right here. Hopefully this thing comes out without a fight. There we go. Got that out. Uh-oh, I just dropped the little grommet. Let me go get that. All right, with that out, let's get these clips right here popped out. I got my little pry tool. See if I can do this without breaking something. There's one. I'll put a link below for this tool. These things come in super handy. There we go. There's one more below this one. They don't make it easy to get to though. There we go, we got it. There's one more. All right, we got that one too. Those should be clear. The next thing we gotta do is unplug the fan motor. So you got these 2 little holes right here. You just take a little flathead stubby in here and you push down on the clip and you wiggle it and it comes out pretty easy. Got one more clip down here to pop off. There we go, got that off, and the fan should be free from wiring for the most part. All right, let's get this cover out of the way. Let's pop these little screw and push pins or whatever you want to call them. All right, that comes off. All right, with that off, we can start removing these braces. All right, switching from a 10 to an 8 for the braces. Nice. With those bolts out, let's grab these little mounts off. Just get these out of the way for now. And now it's time to remove the radiator hose. Let's get this one off. Lucky my bucket's catching most of that. All right, there's one more down here. There's the other hose right down there on the bottom. I'm just gonna run down there and grab that one really quick. All right, with all that stuff disconnected, this radiator should be good to go. But you know, nothing is ever that easy, so let's see if it just comes out. All right, not too bad. All right, with all that stuff out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and get this water pump pulley taken off. I'm gonna leave the belts on for now to keep tension on it as I pull these off. These are just a 10 millimeter. I'm just gonna bring you in for a second. Let me show you what I'm gonna do here. Right here is the pulley tensioner. You just take a 1/2 inch and we'll stick that in there, and then we will pull it back, and that will release the tension from the belt. Before I take that off completely, I'm gonna get a quick video, and so I remember how the belt setup ran. There we go. I don't need to take it off completely. I just need to get enough slack in here so I can pull this pulley out of the way for the water pump. There we go. Again, all I did was take this, release the tension on the tensioner pulley, and just slid this off and took a video of the belt setup just so I wouldn't forget how the belt went on afterwards. Now it's time to get the water pump off. I'm gonna try to do this without removing the alternator, but I don't think it's possible. It's 4 13 millimeter bolts. There's one. 3 and 4. All right, I'm gonna attempt to tap this off with my mallet, see if it works. There it goes. And so does the fluid. Man, I can't talk today. All right, let's check it out. It doesn't look all that bad. I don't know how old it is. I mean, the outside matches the grime and grit on the engine block. So I was thinking it's factory, but I mean, it still could be. It only has 44,000 miles on it. It doesn't look too bad, but let's compare it to the new one. And if you see, this one's so much tighter. Got a little different design to it as well. Feels really good. See the new one. It's spinning. Not really play, but it's not really tight anymore. But, you know, I still think it's time to replace it regardless. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just clean up the surface before I start throwing the new one on. All right, just got a little bit of grease. I'm just going to grease up this O-ring a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy on it. That done. Let's get this cleaned up one more time. Okay, let's get this thing positioned and on. It only goes on one way. All right, I'm just gonna use the wrench here to get them evenly snugged so I can pull that gasket in without damaging it. I don't want to pinch the gasket, so I'll just take my time getting this started, and then I will torque it to spec. All right, let's get the torque wrench. Calling for like 15 to 22 foot-pounds. I also went ahead right here, I don't know if you can see it, but I wrote the date that I replaced it. So if I ever get rid of this car, the next person will know. We're good to go. One thing I always like to do when I have things and access to them is just clean them up. So I just could hit this thing with a little bit of degreaser, just on the outsides, and just gonna wipe it down and just kind of make it look as good as I can. You want to get all that degreaser off as best you can. All right, good to go. Go ahead and get this thing started. Now I got it cleaned up. I'm just going to try to get this as tight as I can before I throw the belt on it. Just kind of using the star pattern the best I can. Get this belt put back on. And since I did not unwrap the whole thing, it's a little easier. All right, that's it. Got the belt on, it's ready to go. What we're going to do now is replace the thermostat. It's just two 8mm bolts. Hopefully I can fit this in here like that. Got my trusty catch bucket below it to catch any fluid that's left in the line, which I'm sure there will be. There we go. There it goes. Let's see how this one looks. Got a little flat head right here to help me get this thing out. There it goes. Looks pretty decent overall. But I got a new one. I got the 180-degree thermostat. So we're going to throw that one on with a new gasket. All right, so I got the new gasket, the new thermostat going in. Like so. I'm going to move this out of the way in case I drop a bolt. I don't want it to fall in there and then I have to go bobbing for bolts. Let's get that hand started. All right, that should be good. Nice. Now that we got the thermostat done, let's move on and get this fan off of the old radiator. Just a couple 8mm bolts right here. There it goes. Easy peasy. Oh man. All right. Now that I got it off the old radiator, all you got to do is just bring it over onto this one like this, line it up. It already has the mount points on it here. Should be pretty easy. I wonder, you know what? I can take this one off and use it, I think. All right, got the old one off here. Get it put on this one. All right, there's that. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Let's get these bolts in. All right, that's all there is to it, and the fan is on and ready to go in. While I got the shroud off and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and just spray this with some detail spray and just clean it up. I know no one will ever see this, but it's just one of the little things I like to do whenever I have access to something, is just clean it up. Put that little extra to make it look better. All right, now let's see if we can get this radiator dropped in. See if we're gonna have to move that battery tray or not. One of the things I'm gonna need to do before I drop that new radiator in, because it's wider, is get this battery out and possibly remove the battery tray as well. So let's get this pulled. And it'll be a good time to go ahead and check for moisture or corrosion underneath the battery tray, because they tend to be where moisture collects. All right, and I can already, let me bring you in and see this. See, if you see right here, see, that's like kind of where the spot the water likes to collect at. Let's get that pulled. I don't know if that's gonna come out. I'm just gonna take a metal brush, try and knock some of this rust out. I may end up having to drill that out. All right, I already pulled out the 2 screws over here. I'm gonna hit this with some WD-40 Penetrant spray. Let it sit for a minute. I'll put a link for this below. This stuff works pretty good. I had it soaking for a little bit. I just cleaned it up. I don't know if this is gonna work. Well, that's not working. So what I was able to do is cut a slit at the top of the bolt, and then now I'm able to screw it out. It's an old airframe trick I learned. All right, there's the final product. Got it out. Now I'm gonna pull this tray, pop these clip things out right here, and then I'm gonna clean the tray up. So I just pulled the battery tray out, looking under here for corrosion. It's kind of commonplace to find it. Didn't find any corrosion. Found a dragonfly. See if I can get that out. Dude, this Dragonfly might be older than some of you guys watching this video. All right, same thing. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned up too. All right, good to go. With that out of the way, let's see if we can get this in now. Seems to be way better fitting now. All right, I gotta check down below and make sure I got those lined up. So I'm at the bottom by the passenger side tire, and you can see right here, this is the ABS. See all the lines coming into it. Right here is the corner of the radiator. It's hitting this and it's keeping it from sitting flush in the hole right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen up these mounts and see if I can get some clearance and move this out of the way to get the radiator to drop in place. All right, I might have to remove a couple more because there's another mount bolt over here on this side. All right, let me show you what I did. Here you go. You got your ABS system right here. There is, let's see if I can light it up. I'm gonna point to it with the flashlight. Right here is a nut, and here's a nut over here on this side. I just unloosened those and unloosened the ones on the bottom. And now, as you can see, it's got a little bit of movement to it, and that should be enough to get the radiator in. All right, let's try this again. That feels good. Now let me go down and check. Yeah, so I was able to get it to fit in there. I just had to loosen up the ABS, and I retightened the ones on the bottom. I'm just doing the ones on the top now, and we should be pretty much there. Just reconnect all the hoses, put the shroud back on, plug everything in, and we should be done with this coolant job for the most part. Refill the system. All right. Good to go. What I'm gonna do now is get these mount brackets that secure the radiator in place. It doesn't really fit super well, so I'm a little concerned to see how these are gonna go on, if I'm gonna be able to get them in straight. There we go. In and very tight, but they're in and they leveled out, so that's good. That thing is snug. It's a little pushing on these bushings. I'm a little concerned about that over time it can be stress on the welds and this thing's gonna start leaking, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna start clipping all this stuff in, see where all of my cables are. So we need the fan cable, so I wanna make sure I got that. Okay, that's in. Got this cable here, this. Okay, now we got our little bundle clips. This one goes here. That goes like that. I think I got one more to put in somewhere. There it goes. All right, with that, let's start seeing if we can get these radiator hoses. See if they go on easy or if they fight us. Oh no, super easy. Now I gotta put this battery back in. All right, I got the battery tray here. I'm just gonna hit it with that Formula 88. I put in the link before. I'll put it in the link below. This stuff works great. And just kind of spray down really good. And then I will take a brush right here, a little agitation brush, and scrub it out. All right. Now that I got this out, one of the things I'm gonna do is you can see right here that collects it. I already drilled one hole. I'm just gonna drill a couple more holes in here in order to let somewhere for the water to drain from. We'll go ahead and throw this back in. I'm gonna go ahead and put these clips in that go in here. Let's get these in. I just got to replace this one. Now that we got all that battery tray stuff squared away, and now that we got everything else done, let's go ahead and throw this cover on like this. That should go here like that. Probably go ahead and set this on top because I don't think it's going to block anything. Like that. Put the rest of these screws in, and then I just got the pop pins to put in, and we are good to go. So I got the lower radiator hose as well, so I don't want to forget that. Got this overflow hose right here to the radiator. See if this goes on easy. No, I got a plan for that. What I like to do sometimes with this stuff when it's not fitting right, I just take a little bit of the silicone spray and I'll just spray it up a little bit. That should be enough. Let's see if I can get this on now. Look at that, like a glove. This is coming along. It wasn't that bad. But I say that and then something happens. It always is that way, right? That you think something's going easy and then at the end, it throws you for a curveball. I mean, a little bit with the fitment of having to loosen up the power steering pump, but that really wasn't that bad. I had to do a little bit of grinding on that battery tray too, but like I said, those are like little issues that are to be expected. Looking good. All right, now that I got the cover back on, do what I always do. I'm just gonna go ahead and freshen it up a little bit. I actually replaced all the little push pins. I have a set of them that always comes in handy. It's pretty cheap. If you don't have a set on hand, I'll put a link below, but I highly recommend having those on standby. They always come in handy. Tighten these up, good to go. All right, all set up. One more hose on the bottom. Let's go. All right, last one. Put this on before my camera dies. We'll just go ahead and move that on there. All right, got it all back together. Wasn't too bad. A couple little hiccups, but we got it done. Now we're gonna fill it up with fluid and try to bleed the system and get all the air out of line. So let's go ahead and do that. One of the things in the Mustang they gotta make sure is that you pop off this cap for this crossover tube. If you don't do that, it won't bleed properly. I might go ahead and order a new one of these as well. Right here, I put a link to it. I got the VP Racing cool down. I'm gonna first add that to the system. This stuff seems to work pretty good. I've used it in other applications. I'm sure some of you Mustangs experts out there, if I messed up, tell me, put it in the comments, tell me I'm dumb, whatever. Maybe I'll learn something. But I've used it and had pretty good results, so maybe I should have put water in it first, so if it does leak, I don't waste this, but too late. I'll show you this kit I got to help bleed the system. It comes with all these different parts. I'll put a link for it below. Just set this in there like that, and then I'm gonna put that on like this, and then I put the funnel in like that, and then I will fill this up with the radiator fluid. All right, what I'm gonna do now, start the car, probably turn the heater on low and slow, see if I get some of the air out of the systems. I'm gonna leave this open and then just let it kind of bleed the system out. All right, just got done putting the coolant back in it and getting it bled. One of the things I didn't show was I took off the cap. You probably saw it when it was running and I was getting up the temp, and I took the cap off the crossover for the coolant system. But I did end up putting a funnel here as well, and then filling that to make sure I did burp and bleed all the air out of the lines. So it's tapped out, it's full. So I think we're good to go there. I ran it, it never got too hot, but obviously I need to do some street driving. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get it off the jacks, take it on the street, and see how the coolant does now with these new upgrades. Like I'm also gonna throw on a set of new lug nuts as well, because the ones I got now are a little wonky. So I'm gonna take these old ones off, put the new ones on, get it off the jacks and take it for a ride. Also throw a link for these lug nuts down below. So let's do a quick little comparison. So if you see these old ones, they're kind of beat up looking, and some of them are all jacked up. I got these black ones. I don't know how the black's gonna look. Some people love them or hate them, but I'll give it a shot. At least the good thing with black ones, if they do get messed up, you can just touch them up with a little bit of touch-up paint. So all right, I got the new lug nuts on. I don't think the black looks too bad in there, but I will say what I do like about these quite a bit is that if you look at how thick they are compared to the old ones, so quite a bit thinner. It's easier to get the socket in and out of there and get these in. So far, so good. And the calipers are still looking great after the paint job. So, all right, let's get this thing off the jacks and get it ready to rip. Got it all put back together. Got it off the jacks. Got to take it for a test drive and see how the cooling system does. So let's go. Man, I love the way this thing sounds. Still sounds great. Just trying to get this thing up to temp, see how it performs. So far so good, but I really haven't been driving it that long yet. All right, I've been getting on it and off of it, just trying to get the really high in the temperature range. And so far it's been pretty much staying flat right there in the middle. As you can see, the temperature gauge hasn't changed. Before it was running a little warm, and now it seems to be holding pretty steady on the temperature. So I would say that the upgrades worked. Now I got to find out about this RPM sticking a little bit, but that should be pretty easy to figure out. But it always drops back down. But yeah, no issues so far with the coolant temperature. So far so good. No, I just got done doing the coolant system on it, so thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to.
What year is it?
It's a 97.
Yep. I don't like the new Mustangs, I like the old ones. It is nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's working perfectly. So far so good, cross my fingers, but really happy with it. Just stopped, put some gas in it, and so far so good. No complaints. All right guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I'm really stoked on how everything turned out. I know the Mustang content isn't for all of you guys, but I like it, so I hope you guys watched the whole thing, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out my buddy's GoFundMe. And with that, all right guys, till next time, later.